I think we as women severely underestimate how important self awareness is in skincare, and I would explain why. I once worked with a client that typically had fungal acne during her luteal phase in her menstrual cycle. Now, these things might sound odd, but there's so much nuance to skincare that it would be utterly careless of us to not have some level of self awareness. I'm talking specifically about menstrual cycles, and I'm not trying to sell you something, but you and I know that it has been made a lot easier with the advent of technology. So we have apps and stuff that help you track your menstrual cycle. You can even document the kinds of changes you see in your body during each stage of your menstrual cycle. We talk a lot about how hormonal acne typically affects women during certain phases of their menstrual cycle. And sometimes when clients begin to break out excessively, I'm very, very particular to ask them what stage of their menstrual cycle they are in. Women's health, however advanced we might think it is at the moment, still has a long way to go. However, with the current data that we have, with just tracking your menstrual cycle, you might be able to pinpoint certain times in your menstrual cycle where you typically have recurring skin issues. It might or might not be linked to your menstrual cycle, but it is still important that you journal these things. When clients tend to have a distinct recurring condition, I typically advise them to try and journal and track it as much as possible. So what are the triggers? What periods does it come in? What kinds of food do you eat and you now notice these things? Where do you stay? What kind of water do you use? etc. These kinds of things can help, at least to some degree, pinpoint what certain causative factors could be. And this is not to say you should be finicky, although some level of meticulousness is welcome. But we should try as much as possible to stream it down to some level of exactness. The best way to get a working skincare routine is to make it as personalized as possible. Hope this helps.